1 year ago, a North Texas synagogue was the target of a terrifying hostage situation. Today, for the first time, 3 of the 4 men at the center of that hours-long ordeal sit down together, and they speak candidly with our Jack Fink.
We're healing. We're not healed. We're getting there.
It's been 1 year since Jeffrey Cohen, Lawrence Schwartz, Shane Woodward, along with their rabbi, Cytron Walker, were held hostage at gunpoint for hours while praying during the Shabbat service on what should have been a quiet Saturday morning at Congregation Beth Israel in Colleyville.
I am permanently changed. I am much more aware of my surroundings everywhere that I go. I'm much more on edge.
I think I've been coping okay. I haven't needed any psychological help or anything. I'm just trying to get back into my groove again.
I feel like I'm healed. I'm just, more cautious and more aware of my surroundings.
Their memories of what happened that long day are still fresh. The rabbi had welcomed Malika Crom, a British national, into the synagogue that morning because of the cold weather. An hour into their religious service, he took out the gun he bought on the streets of Dallas and threatened them.
The gun he had was pointed at us the entire time.
He demanded the release of a female terrorist imprisoned in Fort Worth. That afternoon, the attacker allowed one of his hostages to leave, and the men decided it should be Schwartz, who's 87 years old.
But I really felt bad that I was leaving them behind.
Hours went by. Cohen and Woodward say when the imprisoned terrorist refused the hostage-taker's request to speak with him, he became bitterly angry.
He had turned off the phone with the FBI, and the last thing he said is, I'm going to put a bullet in each one of these guys. And he said, get down on your knees to us. And I leaned forward and I looked at him and I shook my head and I said, no.
Shortly after, when their attacker had trouble opening a can of soda, they plotted their escape.
Rabbi Charlie turns to me. He's asking me, can you run? Oh yeah, I can run. And he just yelled, run.
We did. And then Charlie threw one of the chairs at him.
They ran to the FBI agents.
I can't praise these folks enough, not just for what they did for us, but for the professionalism throughout the day. Just amazing.
Those agents killed the hostage taker, who had said he chose their synagogue because he believed old anti-Semitic tropes.
And he kept repeating them. The Jews control the government, the Jews control the media, the Jews control the banks.
Anti-Semitic acts are on the rise nationwide. During the past several months, rapper Kanye West, also known as Ye, made a series of anti-Semitic rants on his social media accounts, where he has 31 million followers, more than twice the number of Jews worldwide.
When all this was coming out, what was going through your mind?
But it's crazy that we're here in 2023 now, still having these conversations.
That's got to stop, because it's dangerous. We've gotten past the point where we can be polite and just let it go.
The men say they know most people don't believe in the anti-Semitic messages. What's left a lasting impression is the love and support they received from their fellow North Texans.
I don't know how many people came over to me and just hugged me. I know somebody bought our breakfast for us. I don't even know who. They were just there, just putting their arms around us. And it really made me feel much better.
And just even friends, family, strangers, people I haven't talked to in years, just called just to check and see, how are you doing?
Now, president of the congregation, Cohen thanked the community on their website.
Why was it so important for you to write that?
The number, this is still a little emotional for me. The number of people who just showed up.
Executives at the company where he works, who he's never met, also called.
One of them said, oh gosh, my pastor called us in to have a prayer circle. I didn't expect it, somebody I know. Forgive me. It's that outreach, it's that outpouring of support that we got.
Still very emotional. Rabbi Cytron Walker is now leading a congregation at a North Carolina synagogue, which is unrelated to the hostage situation. We had hoped to speak with him this week, but he is under the weather. The rabbi has been very vocal about his experiences and has testified before Congress and spoke at the White House during a ceremony for Hanukkah. Karen?
They mentioned that they're healing. They're not healed. So how has this changed, or has it changed the way the synagogue functions?
Well, they have become so much more security conscious. And so what that means for them, in some cases, that they're watching the door instead of just focusing on the prayers, the rituals, and just their connection with God. I mean, just think about that. This is why you go to a house of worship in the first place, and they can't really do that still.
It's affecting their worship.
Yeah, it is. And so we're going to have our story and obviously the full interview on our website, cbsdfw.com.
It's really great, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.